You've heard us talk about the difference between shaking and stirring. Let's go over the technique of how to stir. It's actually one of the more difficult things, and you'll notice that a lot of bartenders aren't necessarily confident. Mostly it's because they don't do it enough. And if you spend a few minutes working on this technique, you will stir like a pro, maybe even better than your local pro. So here's what we're doing. Again, just remembering why we stir a drink. It's anytime we have just spirit, just looking to chill it down, to grab dilution. Simple process goes like this. I take a nice spoon, and really any spoon, any long bar spoon that you're comfortable with, that's the one you should use. So I take my spoon, find a balance point, usually somewhere about 2/3 of the way up the spoon, slide it down into my mixing glass, and it's a simple process of pulling it towards me and pushing it away. Simply taking my top fingers and pulling in, and my bottom fingers and pushing it away. And it creates this process of really just following the outside of the glass and going around and around. And what I like to tell people is, as you're learning how to do this, do it just this slow and practice pushing and pulling and pushing and pulling until you get to the point where you can kind of speed that process up a little bit and you've got the pulling and pushing going in a much smoother fashion. And really what it ends up being is that push and pull and just a gentle turn of the wrist gives you this nice, it looks like I know what I'm doing. Now, whether I do or I don't still remains to be seen. But that said, if you see a bartender who's stirring properly, you know that that's someone you can get a good cocktail from. It's one of those techniques that really should be practiced and can be mastered really within a couple of hours. Just grab a glass and a spoon and do this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Simple as that. Once you've mastered it, you can make delicious round cocktails. Your martinis and Manhattans will be just like the pros, maybe even better. But you want no agitation. You want just that simple process of cooling the drink down, making it taste good, and at the same time, looking like you know what you're doing, which is half the fun. So grab a glass, grab a spoon, practice stirring. Soon you'll be better than me.